Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. For 35 years, New Life has been transforming lives one at a time thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to New Life Live, and it's a great day here at New Life, October the 4th, Wednesday, because I'm with Becky Brown and Dr. Jill Hubbard. Both of you, amazing roles at New Life for a lot of time. Of course, Becky is the president of New Life now, and Dr. Jill might be the longest-standing psychologist to keep coming back, and it's just a wonderful thing. You know, it's kind of hard to even say this out loud, but there are only 13 weekends left in this year.
Really? You had to.
Out of the 13, we have 4 workshops, 4 intensives: Every Man's Battle, Intimacy and Marriage, Restore, and Emotional Freedom. Then we have that Life Recovery Conference that's online, and Lumina. So there's really 6 things. So how about pick a weekend and do something that could impact 2023? For instance, if you're a woman, go to this Lumina at the Museum of the Bible and get saturated, immersed in Scripture, leaving inspired to do something about the Bible. I mean, what a great thing. Or revive or start your recovery process by going to Life Recovery. Intimacy and marriage. How many marriages, I can't count them, are different, better, healed, transformed because of intimacy and marriage? Pick something and do it because it will help. The problem is we'd rather not. We'd rather God take it from us. I think that's the treatment of choice. God, just take this from me. And God would like to take it from you, but he's waiting for you to do what you're waiting for God to do. And when you start doing your part, God starts to do God's part.
Or we say we want change, but we're scared to actually take those first steps.
Or we say we want change, but we actually there's some benefits to not changing.
Oh, true.
Right, some people get kind of into being the center of attention, maybe. Or that victim mentality says, I don't really have to do anything because I'm being pushed down. So, you know, it isn't something you consciously decide to do. It's just there. And I've just...
Well, you know, I always wonder when I talk to people who are in a difficult situation or if they might be complaining about something, one of my questions is always, well, what have you done? And we do this all the time on the show. We'll say, well, what have you done so far? And what I think, if you're thinking about one of the workshops, there's a lot of people who are listening who are thinking, you know, someday I want to do that. Well, maybe today is the day that you go right to the website or call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We've got incredible ministry representatives that will answer the phone, walk you through the steps, and then you can put that to rest. Otherwise, you're just going to keep wrestling with, well, I think I should go. It would be nice to go. You know, make it happen.
And let's face it, Becky, some people are running out of runway.
Yes,
and maybe someday is now, right? Because if not now, when?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can look back and say, I made a decision to move into my new life. And I did it because I went to a workshop and then I got on a path of healing and freedom, and it changed everything about my life. So then 2024 is going to be great and beyond.
There are 2 things that last a long time: eternity and tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes.
Yeah.
I'll do it tomorrow. No, you won't. Do it today. There's no power in tomorrow. The power is in today, what you do today. You can call us 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Say, okay, here's my deal. How can you help me? Might not be a workshop, could be a book, video, could be a great counselor or a coach. We want to help you. Got a few calls lined up here, and we'll take those calls. As soon as we get back, we're going to jump into them here on New Life Live.
My husband was involved with pornography addiction.
He was unfaithful. I called the wedding off. He stepped out on the marriage and ended up having a child.
The Restore Workshop is designed for a woman dealing with a man's sexual addiction issues.
My husband is a recovering sex addict. There were strip clubs, other ladies.
If you've been affected by betrayal, an emotional or physical affair, or pornography, the Restore Workshop will equip you with support and tools to help you through.
Restore has empowered me and has given me the tools to work through my anger, work through my pain, work through my confusion, and help me realize that I am worthy.
Being here and being surrounded by people who get it has given me my power back.
The Restore Workshop is coming to Washington, D.C. November 3rd through the 5th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to find out more. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com.
Thank you, Restore. You have changed my life forever.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back, Steve Arterburn here, going right to the phones to Allison from Nashville, Tennessee, and she listens online. Hi there. How are you?
Hi, doing great. So glad to talk to y'all today. Thank you for taking the call.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you called, and we are very interested in what is going on in your life today.
Y'all, I'm hoping today is the day. This is the magic words just to get over resentment, painful divorce, a subsequent rapid remarriage, co-parenting. It's just, it's painful. And I find sometimes I think I'm good, and then something will trigger it, and I'm like, I'm still carrying a lot of hurtful, vindictive thoughts related to the situation.
Yeah. So the question is, how do you get better? How do you get over the resentment?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Jill, why don't we start with you, Becky, and then me?
Okay. Allison, I'm glad you called. So you said you were divorced and then rapid remarriage. How rapid are we talking?
His rapid remarriage. It 90-day divorce, and he was on his first date 7 weeks later, eloped the following year.
Wait, this is your ex-husband?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. So and so you're not married?
No.
Okay. Well, you know what? Unfortunately, that is quite common. Men after divorce or death tend to remarry in the first 1 to 2 years. And then 5 years later, or 5 years into it, is when they typically do their grieving. And where we women will wait the 5 years, do our grieving, and then remarry. Now, that's just a generality, right? Not everybody follows that pattern. But this is pretty typical. And then, as you've probably been figuring out with kids, you're still co-parenting. And so divorce, you never, when you have children, you're never away from the person. You still have to deal with them ongoing. And that can be very difficult. And so all of the things that perhaps led to you divorcing or the things you didn't like, you get in spades now as the ex-spouse, right? Because you're not getting any of the good anymore, if there was any. You're just getting all the stuff that was difficult.
Yeah.
And especially if he's remarried, then he's elevated that relationship and probably, is more devaluing of you, I would imagine.
No kidding.
Oh, my gosh. You nailed it. Yeah.
And how long ago did you divorce?
5 years.
5 years. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm chomping at the bit to share something with you.
ahead.
But no, Becky, you.
Well, I know what you're going to say, Steve, but I love it. So, Allison, here's what I think, though, Allison, is you got to make the decision of how much longer do I want to be this way, because you need to find your life again, as opposed to being stuck in this resentment, because it's affecting you. He's gone on and done whatever, and it's going to impact every area. But I don't want to say too much because I know what Steve's going to say. So I'm going to, you go ahead, Steve.
Well,
you go and then we'll comment more.
Allison, there's nothing worse than being predictable. But anyway, so I went to Colorado Springs to have dinner with this amazing couple, John and Lisa Bevere, and they have done really amazing things for the kingdom. And just before the plane took off, I was told that my wife had been unfaithful, and I got that news and went to dinner with the Beveres, and finally I just had to share with them what I had learned right before the plane took off. They took me back to my hotel room and got on their knees with me, and here was their prayer. It was so strange at the time, but it saved me. And here was their prayer, that I would never be jealous of anything that my ex did, that I would be free of her. Now, isn't that something?
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, I think it was a supernatural moment, and I did grieve, and I mean, this sounds weird, but I don't really care what she does or those things. It doesn't impact my life. It's like hearing just somebody else did something. And I'm so grateful to them for getting me on that path, not looking at what's being done in her life and then having that produce some kind of horrible feeling in me. That's what I want for you. He divorced you. He's gone, right? But he's not gone. Why let a man that hurt you day after day after day? And there is no other way to find release than to fully, deeply grieve what he took from you. Then you can accept him for what he was, what he did, accept yourself without the stuff he took, and then you can fully forgive him and be free. But you're going to have to do the grief work that fully releases him out of your life.
Well, and it is a process, because Steve, you have talked about the process that you went through in your hurt.
Yeah, right.
Right, of wanting harm to come to her, and then
well, yes. In the beginning, I wanted to kill her. I was so upset and hurt, and then I got better, and I just wanted her to die. I didn't need to do it myself. Anything would work. And then just a terminal illness, and then chronic illness. Then maybe just a boil or something. So I got better at every stage. And then finally, I was praying good prayers for her because she was the mother of my daughter. That can happen.
And I so remember when you got to that point, because I was behind you in my journey, and I went, dang, really? I have to go there? But it's so true.
You have to pick the pain. You go through the pain of fully grieving and letting it go, or you get to experience this same aching pain, and 5 years later, it can be just as painful as it was 5 years before if you don't do the work. So you called us for help, and here we've said you've got to become miserable, more miserable than you've ever been.
Well, but Allison, I think truly accepting who this person is, and that they are just showing you over and over again who they are. And I know for me to stop expecting them to be different. Right? Or putting any stock in that at all. And just using what I knew about who they actually were showing me that they were. That can be helpful.
Yeah.
So, well, and
upholding my role.
Yeah.
Well, and Allison, the reason why I said that I knew what Steve was going to say is because that's the truth.
Yeah.
It's predictable because it's the truth. The truth doesn't change. And even though we feel bad and we want it to be another way, and so you've got to do whatever it takes so that you can get through the pain and become the woman that God has designed for you to be, and not be chained to this old wound that's just getting like gangrene.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah. When he allows when he allows the stepmom to overstep bounds with the children and they come home, that's when it flares up. Like he's allowing his wife to take my daughter bra shopping and talk to her about developmental milestones. And I'm saying, please defer to me. I'm a very present mother. That's my role, and I'm making a request, of both of them. Please defer to me on that. Yeah. And I'm being told essentially, this is how we're going to do it, deal with it, and then it's that grief again of, I feel like they're propping themselves up as, this ideal family unit, which I'm like, this is so not okay with me, like just that my voice is continually pushed to the side, and that's that.
Allison, here's what you need to pay attention to. That's probably not going to change anytime soon with any requests that you make. And I know that's the bad news. But what I want for you is to become the mom that you want to be with them, so that you're not always in this defense mode with them, because it can feel like you're on your own. And I don't know what your custody arrangements are or anything like that, but the best thing that you can do for your kids is to be the person that they know is trustworthy, is who they say they are, so that no matter what the other person is doing, they can see through that, and that they know what is true. And it's hard.
And here's the other thing. Predict what the next thing might be. Like, hey, given what you did with this bra thing, I want to be sure you know that as her mother, I want to be the one that helps her find her first prom dress, or whatever it is. But think about what might be a thing mother would do with daughter, and clarify with them, this is my role, this is what I do, and I want you to follow my wishes here if you want us to stay.
It's okay for you to have a voice, even if they disregard it. For you need to have a voice. Right.
So don't wait for the next thing to just happen. And if you had said to them, I want to be the one that goes with her to get her first bra, don't you dare do that, and then they did it, I think you've got some custody issues where somebody is trampling on your rights as her mother. So you want to be very specific. And the other thing is, I would like for you to be able to do it as a matter of business type mentality versus I'm hurt, I'm in despair, and I got to get this to stop. Different mentality.
I also think too, Allison, if you can think ahead, what are some milestones that you want to share with your kids? Like, you may even know some of those right now, and lean into that with your kids. To obviously age appropriate or whatever, but also, like you just said, Steve, you get ahead of the thing. Hey, by the way, I'm going to take son or daughter over, we're going to do this and that. It's just own the space that you have already and lean into that.
Yeah. All right. I'm glad that you called. I'm going to send you Intimate Deception because of the healing piece in there, I think is absolutely vital and will apply to your situation, and you'll be glad that you did it. But sorry to give you the bad news, but misery can keep you from keeping company with the person that caused the misery. It separates a gift from God when we grieve in the right way. All right, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. If you need some help, people woke up this morning and said, I want to help some people. If you call them, they'll help you. Anderson, Pennsylvania, WBYN. Let's go to Carolyn. Hi, Carolyn. How are you?
Hi, I'm okay. It's my daughter that's having some problems. Has problems.
What's going on with her?
Well, just a little history. She had some anxiety back when she was much younger. We didn't know about it. But once she hit the high school grades, it really was more relevant. It's more prevalent and see it. Right, manifested. Now she's graduated, but now she has an attachment to her high school boyfriend, so much so that she feels like she can't do anything unless he's there. He's like a security blanket.
Okay.
But he's been living with us for the last year. We've tried helping him both. They wanted to get a job together. They did that. He lost it. That was months ago. She had a job in high school during COVID, and that worked out great because it was just down the street. And she was going to school online because of COVID. But my question is, how do I get her to understand that she needs to be more independent and not attached to another person?
Okay, so we're gonna talk about that. We can answer that. We can help you with this.
Okay.
You're listening to New Life Live, and that is what we love to do. We love to help people take a little baby step that ends up being a giant step toward healing, restoration, redemption of all the things that have gone wrong. God wants you to live the best life possible. He died so you would. He loves you. He hasn't given up on you.
My girlfriends and I have been searching for so long to try to find an event to attend.
Lumina is a new women's conference designed to inspire your faith so you can lead and live confidently from God's Word.
It was nice to come here and just realign myself with who God says He is in my life.
The Lumina Conference is a 2-day experience. 1 full day of worship and teaching in Museum of the Bible's World Stage Theater, and a half-day guided tour through Museum of the Bible.
You are literally immersed in the Word of God. You can walk through the Old Testament. You can walk through the New Testament.
Lumina is for women of all generations, cultures, and denominations. It's a great place to gather with women from your church and community.
If you want some fellowship and you want to be strengthened, this is the place you want to be.
This year's Lumina Conference is October 27th and 28th in Washington, D.C.
It was absolutely life-changing.
For more information, go to luminawomen.org.
I have given to New Life regularly because I have so many people that I am referring to New Life who so benefit from the ministry. I just can't imagine what would happen in my area if New Life wasn't available to us.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of all 8 100-day devotionals, including 100 Days of Prayer, 100 Days of Freedom from Depression, and 100 Days of Peace. There are also ongoing benefits like the monthly Club New Life CD or download, access to the Club New Life video library, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, discounts on workshops, and quarterly online meetings with Steve. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here with Becky Brown and Dr. Jill Hubbard. And we've got a situation here where daughter, full of anxiety, fear, and seems to not be able to live without the boyfriend, but the boyfriend has been moved in with her. Let's talk about that. Dr. Jill, how about you?
Well, I think that the boyfriend has become someone that helps to soothe and calm her. And so with her anxiety, because nobody likes to feel anxious, right? And so if the boyfriend was there at the right time, which sounds like he was, and she would feel calmer in his presence, she's created, like you said, this attachment with him. So it's like she can only be calm when he's around, which isn't true, right? And so she's unaware of her own strength. And then because she's deferred to him, right, she's subverting her ability to learn how to soothe herself and to tolerate and grow her capacity to deal with anxious situations. Because we know that life is full of anxiety, right? But we have to learn how to manage that and know that we can survive it to help calm it down. So, right? So, but in that, I'm really curious, Carolyn, about this having the boyfriend live there, because that's only going to further cement this kind of idea she has that she can't live without him, like literally his physical presence.
Exactly.
So why is he living with you?
Why have you allowed that?
This is not an easy question. So we did and we didn't. I mean, he left after high school because his family home where he grew up dissolved. His uncle had died. His aunt moved to another state, and his sister went with them, which left him just the only option was to go live with the grandparents, and that's in another state. So that was fine. He was happy to get away from the aunt because that was never a positive relationship. And so it was. And but when he was away and they were separated, she was not finding any work. She was saying, well, I need a break because I worked all through my senior year. I need a break. Okay. Well, then we went away camping without her. We came home last July, and she says, I have a surprise for you. And it was, he got a bus trip back down to PA.
Okay, so
he showed up and he's never left?
Okay, but he went to work, they got jobs, and then he lost his job. And he hasn't gotten a job since, right?
No.
Okay.
No, he is not ambitious.
All right, so I here's the thing. When he showed up, you were under no obligation to move him into your home, especially if you had concerns, and I would have had concerns, about having my daughter's boyfriend live in our home. Because what if they broke up? I mean, all these different things that might have happened, and your daughter might have been more free, but he lives with you. I think you have to work toward...
It's not a healthy... Not as healthy as I prefer.
No. Okay, so I think you have to work on how do we get him independent and out of your home.
And we have. We've helped him in these last couple months that he's, like I said, not ambitious to find work again because they were working at the same place.
Yeah.
Well, so Carolyn, here's the thing. I was trying to figure out the ages, but these are adults that are living under your roof. Are they paying rent?
Yeah.
How much rent? Like, is it a regular amount that they would have to pay somewhere else?
No, it's much lower.
Right.
Rent around.
So,
yeah,
well, but you what I'm hearing from you, though, Carolyn, is there's lots of excuses to support what's happening. And I know that sounds kind of harsh. I know that. But we get into these situations where we keep making it happen because we don't want them. You're not wanting her to feel anything, like Jill said. So everything from a lower price point on a rent, they don't need to work. They don't need to get, like you're keeping them in a situation that's not tolerable for them over a long period of time. We want to figure out a plan for them to be successful together or apart, and where there's clarity for everybody.
Right. And sometimes we as parents fall into the trap of applying our standards to our children, right? Well, I wouldn't want to be out on the streets. I wouldn't want to be without a place to live. How can I let them not have a place to live?
And they don't stay out on the streets.
No,
they go
don't.
Live with friends. They bounce from friend to friend.
They figure it out when they have to.
And when they run out of friends, then either they get asked back into the home that they were let out of, which is not good, or they figure out, here's what I've got to do. I've got to have this job so I can rent, not an apartment, or a room. Have a room in somebody else's apartment. They figure it out, and they grow and mature because of it. But it's hard. But that difficulty that you need to go through puts difficulty back in their hands.
Right.
So that they learn how to deal with difficult things without panicking. We'll be back right after this for more.
For Most of my life I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit its addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 Steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 Steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back, and one final word here Jill wanted to share.
Carolyn, I think that you and your husband need to sit them down and have a conversation and say that you guys have come to a realization and that you have allowed some things that you feel now in hindsight is unhealthy for both of them. And that in your trying to be helpful in the moment, you've allowed some things to just evolve that you think is crippling them from really being the adults God is calling them to be. Mm-hmm. And mm-hmm. so you want to kind of do a reset, and then you give him so many days or weeks to move out. Like you realize it's going to take him time, but that really the two of them being so dependent on each other. And I kind of think your daughter's a stronger one. He's very dependent.
Yeah.
At this stage of their lives, when they're supposed to be developing their own sense of self and individuating from family and having a voice, right, that they've kind of just glommed onto each other. I probably wouldn't use that term, but and that they're not able to fully grow and make a decision about what they want in life.
And here's the thing, we're forgetting that he and she made the decision that he would buy a bus ticket and make it all the way back over there.
Right.
At
so
some
he's capable.
Point, yeah, they're capable of doing exactly what they want. Right.
Right.
Exactly.
And maybe as a help, you offer each of them to do some individual therapy, and you'll foot the bill for that. But the goal is that he moves out and they get their lives together, right, separate, before they come together as this unit under the same roof.
Very good. All right, so we have 100 Days of Freedom from Fear and Anxiety that you could share with her. I think that'd be a great devotional for her. And I don't know, I think sometimes we get caught up and we just can't see that we're promoting the very thing that we stand against.
Right.
So difficult. Because we get blind and deaf and all that.
Sometimes we just have to say no.
Right.
I'm sorry, this doesn't work for us.
Yeah.
If you think back, Carolyn's the first part of her question was, our daughter has an anxiety problem. So see, then everything starts from that point, as opposed to she's now an adult and she's living with her boyfriend's living with us in our house, and it's all very complicated, but it's all rooted in the fact that there's no movement forward in her life. Yes, she might have an anxiety disorder, but how are we, addressing that as opposed to just adding to the problem?
Right. Okay. So what would be a great resource for this mom?
Doing life with your adult children.
How about that?
Coming
your way, Jim Burns. And he is, he's one of the best. Speaking of best, Larry, give us your best here.
Okay. Well, I'm going to give you my best because Becky gave me one a while back.
Okay. What is it?
She sent an email to me, and it was from a donor. And here, I like this is really special. We've had some, Steve, where a guy will write in and say how much the male hosts on the program have meant to them. And
not enough. Not enough of those.
Yeah, so send them in, folks.
Yeah.
But here's one. Steve A. and Company, I've been listening to you about 2 years. I decided to become a New Life partner at $35 a month. I'm not a Christian, but was raised in a Christian home with a real Christian mother. Alice, Becky, Jill, they make me want to be a better person and a Christian. I have a drinking problem. Sent me the Life Recovery Bible, which I know I need. Pray for me, okay? Maybe you don't have many non-Christian members, but I want to become one. And she signed her name.
Oh, wow.
The difference you guys make and you don't know. And it's pretty special. So, folks, that's why we do what we do. We want to see life change. And to think that a non-Christian is listening and wants to be more like the ladies on this show, more Christian-like, it's wonderful.
Well, I want to talk with her because I want her to be a Christian. I mean, we do see that as the ultimate reason we're here.
Yep.
Is for that. But we can't do any of this without the help of folks.
Right.
And we're so grateful when you do. And if you can, call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
And we'll match it. We've got
right.
We've got somebody that said as soon as you raise this money, we're going to send you that much money. It's $361,000. And it could really be helpful, folks. So
we happen to need that.
Yeah, and we need it because what we do is making a difference. We just see the Holy Spirit continue to do things that amaze us.
Yeah.
So help us. We appreciate it.
Amaze God with your generosity, and I guarantee you, He will amaze you when you least expect it. It's not you're not going to win Publishers Clearinghouse. Although if you do, tithe.
Yeah.
But the blessings will be far greater than winning Publishers Clearinghouse.
Yeah.
It will be quite amazing. Thank you, Larry. 1-800-NEW-LIFE if you can help us. We're going to go to William in Annapolis, Maryland, listening on WAVA. William, how you doing today? What's on your mind, and how could we help?
I could use some guidance. I've most of my life that I can remember from about 8 years on to now, I just can never keep any memory of things. I lose.
You lose your long-term memory.
The memory.
How
I
is?
don't remember. I just don't remember anything. Basically, to be honest with you, I mean things that happened 2 years ago. If when people talk about it, I kind of sit there and go, yeah, but I'm sitting there going, I have no idea what they're talking about.
Okay. So, have you gone to see a neurologist or someone that could give you a little bit of assessment on brain function, anything like that?
Oh, okay. No, I've come to see you first.
Okay.
Looking for.
Well, here's what I'd do.
Yeah, I wasn't looking.
Well, I would probably, given the situation, I'd probably go to an Amen clinic and have them. I mean, they've looked at they actually look at the brain versus just take some blood tests and see what that is. And I'd have them tell you what they see.
Right.
And then you would, because, when they looked at my brain, they said, well, here's some things I think, you need to look out for and stuff. Very helpful, but you need some insight as to whether or not this is early dementia, Alzheimer's, or it's just kind of a strange phenomenon with you. If it's one or the other, there are medications that seem to minimize it or hold it back and doesn't progress as fast. But how long has this always been the case, or like?
Wait, how old are you, William?
Old enough. No, I'm 73.
Okay.
73.
But it started. I'm guessing when I try to think, it started at about 8 and 7 or 8 years old.
It's a long time. Yeah.
That you noticed you couldn't remember things as early as 7 and 8.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that 7 and 8 was it, and there was something, we all have traumatic things happen in our life.
What was yours?
But do you know of some trauma?
Yes.
Okay.
What was that? What was the trauma that is so painful?
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
I just remember my father's gravesite, and I remembered running away from it, just kind of screaming and yelling, and I've never been the same since then.
Yeah.
But
how old were you, William, when he passed away?
7 years old.
Okay.
And I guess I've kept my life busy enough over the years raising children, which I'm not complaining at all.
Right.
Well,
I'm very thankful for all.
Yeah.
But I've just gotten to a point to where I don't. It's just always been. I've called you all 4 or 5 times, and honestly, I feel embarrassed, but hung up because I couldn't say it.
Well, you said it today, and
Don't hang up,
that's
William.
a start, William. Because when you ran away from that grave, I think you made a vow to run away from a lot of things in life, and maybe it was too painful to remember.
But now, seeing and feeling the pain at this age, maybe this is the right time for you to face it, so that a year from now you're not feeling this kind of pain or running from this kind of pain, but you're resolving it and restoring your life.
We all face days where life throws us a curveball and our routines or plans get disrupted. Things we wanted to do are forced to take a backseat to the unexpected demands of the day. If you normally listen to New Life Live on a radio station, well, you might not be able to that day. And on these hectic days when you're feeling stressed or frazzled, hearing the sound of counsel given on New Life Live is just what you need to navigate the unexpected things of life.
Every time I'm troubled or I have a problem, I'll cut on New Life, and there's always something that is said that is helpful to me.
By listening, I have learned more than I can ever express about how God wants me to live.
Download the New Life app for the easiest way to listen wherever you are and at a time that's convenient for you, or watch the show on our YouTube channel. You can even subscribe to our podcast from your favorite podcast provider. You never have to miss a day of New Life. Wherever you are, we are. Chris Williams on coaching.
Oftentimes I get asked, what is the difference between therapy and coaching? The biggest difference between the two is that a therapist is going to be looking for a diagnosable mental health condition, whereas a coach is going to look at a particular issue and help a person work through that.
If you need a coach, call New Life today and ask about the New Life Coaching Network. Our coaches have been trained and screened with the same intensive process we use for our network counselors.
If you're looking at an issue in your life that you just kind of want to change, whether it be your weight or leadership or other areas of behavioral patterns, check out coaching. There can be some really, really helpful things for you.
Take control of your life and take action to achieve your goals. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 and talk to us about getting a New Life coach. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. You know, there's a grief workbook that goes along with the Life Recovery Bible, and I'm going to send this to you, and it could really be a great way to fully grieve this. But any final thought, Becky or Jill, on this?
Well, I love that you didn't hang up, William.
Yes.
You know, you said that you had called so many times and this was your time. And so we're going to give you the support that you need. I think we can connect him with a counselor as well as this book and to get involved in the process of healing.
Right. William, it's never too late to get help.
Right.
I have seen people in their 90s, and it's wonderful when people make the connections at any age.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'm glad that you called, and I'll send this grief workbook along with Life Recovery Bible and hope and pray that this is going to help. But please let us find a counselor for you to work through the grieving process. It could make all the difference in the world.
Yeah. Someone
really
safe to tell what you do remember.
All right.
Well, it's funny. Well, and just to say that we always talk about that 2-ton phone, and William finally found the strength to lift that up and call. And, you know, that's what we're here for. We want to help you.
Yep. Okay. So now let's talk to Renee, Baltimore, Maryland. Hi, Renee. How you doing, and how could we help?
Hello. Thank you so much for taking the call. And I've heard a lot listening, you know, prior to you picking up. And my situation is similar. I heard about being a codependent, but my question was that I've been married for 35 years, and I've been with my husband for 37.
Okay.
And it's just really hard because now we've already go through. We've never been actually separated, but he had went and got an apartment for a year, and I was in the house. But we stayed together in the apartment together or in the house together unless we just could not get along, and he would stay there and I would stay in the in the home.
Yeah.
So we never really been separated.
Right.
And he's just, I mean, I don't know. I want my marriage and my vows I took seriously. I think as a little girl I thought I would get married and, you know, have kids and things like that, and we did. We had 2 boys, but prior to me marrying him, he had 2 girls. So they were like 2, 3, and 4. So I kind of practically raised them as mine.
Okay.
But their mom was well and alive, but she was just going through trouble.
So the question for us would be what?
I think I just can't. We both seem like we just can't do it get together anymore.
Right.
And it's hard because I do want to continue to stay married till death do us part. He's abusive and not physical, but we have had types of, you know, spats like physical ones. And I've told him to leave on 4 or 5 occasions.
Well,
And,
Renee, have you guys done any counseling through all of this marriage? Have you done anything?
Just this year, he agreed to it. I wanted to do it 10 years ago, 20 years ago, because, I mean, I did.
And so did you do it?
We did it, and he found the counselor, and I went along with him, and when I stood up, and because he is a compulsive liar, but I could deal with that at my young age. I thought I could, and I just thought, you know, a lie is a lie. But I don't know, it's more than that. It's compulsive. But when he said something, and then I stood up in the meeting, and I said, no, he's not. He's lying, you know. And he was like, and so the counselor asked me, was I on medication? And he said, see, that's what I'm talking about. I got everything I needed. So he's waiting. I feel as though he's waiting for me to react like that.
Okay.
In order to say he's not the problem, I am.
Okay. So we're almost out of time, and I want her to leave with something that could help here.
Well, I'm thinking that they should go to our intimacy and marriage workshop. I know you don't like that as an answer all the time.
No, but
Steve,
I was thinking the same thing, Becky, because you need a reboot. You need something that'll kind of level the playing field for each of you to look at your own stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't
really
know anything better.
And understand where the crisis continues to come from. You know, because you separate, but then you live together, and then there's just this cycle that you're in. And we've helped so many couples understand what is beyond the day-to-day stuff that keeps them from really connecting. And it could change everything for you guys.
All right, I'm going to see if we can get you a special rate to encourage you going, and I'm going to send you How We Love, which will give you some great insight into what in the world brought you two together. Why is that such a problem? You know, isn't it amazing? Well, I'll just give you an example. You might be a person that doesn't like details, so you're drawn to someone who handles all the details. Then you get married, and this strength they had drives you crazy because they're always wanting to know more details than you've understood or that you have in your brain.
Right.
And so, well, it's important to know that because nobody's wrong here. But what's wrong is to not see the source of the conflict, come to understand it, and then you can start to go back to appreciating someone able to deal with details.
Right.
But if you're just continuing to be irritated, then you're probably going to be irritated literally to death. Now, who wants to die irritated? I do not.
Not me.
So there's hope here. And, you know, one of the things we talk about at New Life is not doing something because it's the way we've always done it. Now, I want to use that for you. Are you doing stuff the way you've always done it? Like, well, we don't go to counseling in this family. We deal with our own issues. Well, how's that working out for you? How about let somebody, a third party, step in, more objective, that can bring you to a point of action that might resolve something, might repair something. Which repair? Is there anything more important in a marriage than the ability to repair? Because we're going to rupture things one way or the other because we're human. All right, enough of me on the soapbox of life.
Yeah, but you're speaking truth, though, Steve, and I think you say it all the time that you've got to do something different. And right now, this couple is engaged in the fight. That's what they do.
Yeah.
This is what identifies their marriage. And we don't want you to be married and miserable. We want you to enjoy your life together. And you got to do stuff to make things different. You can't do the same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And I know it's trite, but I do say this a lot. Trying harder just makes trying harder. So we have to give that up and try this other thing, surrender, which means God first, God's agenda. What does God want versus my little feelings, my heart? You know. Okay, well, there is a place for that. But if it's all about your feelings have a point, but they're not the ultimate point in life. And sometimes when we're in counseling or whatever, we start to think feelings are everything. No, truth is more important than feelings. And how we feel about the truth is an issue, but it doesn't change the truth. So we got to get out of our feelings, get them under control, know what they are, and then let truth, not feelings, be the guide. If you need some help, we've got people that want to help you at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have a matching fund, and we would love for you to help us if you possibly can. Thank you for joining us. God bless you. Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Becky. Thank you, Terry Mack. See you next time.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.
Hi, thank you for watching New Life Live. You know, New Life Live is a Christian counseling program where we deal with the hard questions about life, relationships, kids, free choice, freedom of will, whatever. It's all right there on New Life Live every day, every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to call into the live broadcast, you can find the schedule on newlife.com or click the social media link right below. You can see every episode of New Life Live on the New Life YouTube channel. Watch it with a friend, watch it later. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll never miss another episode. So if you want to listen on the go, download the app. The link is right below. And I hope if you need some information, if you want to get some help, you'll call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And I'll see you next time.